Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Ke Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Hari. Now, a qualified seeker, a qualified student has reached a qualified guru. Tam aradhya gurum bhaktya prahva prashraya sevanaihi prasannam tam anuprapya prichet jnanatavyam atmanah. So that student goes down to the guru. Thereby he demonstrated his humility, politeness, gentleness, softness, love, respect, reverence, and all that, and surrendered at the feet of the teacher. All qualifications, as we said, he is endowed with all that. And by his behavior, the guru was pleased. And when the guru was pleased, the student expressed his desire to know Atma. And to explain his situation right now, he described his plight. Swamin namaste nataloka bandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdau mam uddaratmiya kataksha drishtya jvati karunya udhavi prishtya. So how he is describing how he is drowning in samsara. And he prayed that he be lifted up and be saved by the Guru. He further continued, describe his situation. Turvara samsara davagni taptam dodyuta manam duradrishta vataihi bhitam prapannam paripahi mrutyoho sharanyam anyat yad aham na jane. I am being roasted by the forest fire of this samsara. And he asks that he be saved. And he says, I don't know of any other refuge. And he also said how that Guru is. Shanta Mahanto Nivashanti Santah Vasantavat Lokahitam Charantah Tirnaha Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan Ahetunan Yanapi Tarayantah. The Guru has causeless compassion, and he must save him. So we have seen up to this in verse 37. And today we continue with verse 38. Ayam swabhava savateva yatpara. Ayam swabhava swatayeva yatpara. Shramapanoda pravanam mahatmanam. Shramapanoda pravanam mahatmanam. Sudam Suresha Swayamarka Karkasha. Sudam Suresha Swayamarka Karkasha. Prabhavitaptam avatekshitim kila. Prabhavitaptam avatekshitim kila. Ayam swabhava swadayeva yatpara Shramapanoda pravanam mahatmanam Sudam Shuresha Swayamarka Karkasha Prabhavitaptam avatekshitim kila. So Bhashyakara continues with the topic of the preparations of the seeker. He's already talked about the general intellectual qualifications required because this is a pursuit of knowledge. Then he talked about the spiritual qualifications required because this requires owning up to your nature as Brahman, that you are Brahman. This is not an objective science. The spiritual qualifications are sadhana chaturshaya sampatti. Then he talked about going to the Guru Upasadanam, which is also part of the preparation. Then finally comes the last stage of preparation. It's not enough that one should clearly ask for this knowledge. So this is said as pariprashna in the Bhagavad Gita. This asking questions should be in such a way that it brings out his shraddha, his bhakti, his sincerity in wanting to know the truth. If the proper attitude is lacking, the Guru will not give the wisdom because the wisdom will not bless the student. It will all be in vain. That's why even in Mundakopanishad, the example of Samit Panihi, that Samit represents dry twigs used for homa, etc. The dry twig represents the prepared state of the student. When the twig is dry, when the fuel is dry, the moment the flame is thrown, it immediately will catch fire. If it is not dry, if it is wet, any amount of fire cannot burn it. You will get only smoke. Similarly, the prepared condition of the student is important for him to receive the teaching. You should receive the teaching as even it is given. As you listen, you must get it. That how much prepared you should be. So therefore, not only you should ask the mode of asking, the language used in asking, body language, all that is important. So that is what he has described, and we have seen in so many words, beginning in verse 35, how a student should address the teacher, what should be his physical, mental, verbal attitude. So all this is discussed 35 to 40. So we have seen how he used the word Swamin, Namaste, Nataloka Bandho. All these words indicates his Shraddha and Bhakti. Thereafter, he clearly mentions his problem. And he does not talk about worldly problems, family problem, financial problem, health problem, community, society problem. Problems are there, no doubt, but they're all incidental problems, varying from individual to individual. But he wants to go to the root problem, the moola problem of the entire humanity. And that problem does not belong to this Janma alone. It has been there for so many Janmas. Janmas, it has been. Because of that alone, this Janma has come now. So he is aware of the problem. He is cleanly aware of the problem. And he gives a very clear description of the problem also. Durvara samsara davagni taptam doduyamanam duradrishta vataihi. We saw in verse 36. He also says, I am only interested in solving this problem. I am no more bothered in solving other superficial problems. I want to dedicate my life to solving the root problem. And I'm not sure whether I will get another opportunity, whether I will get another human birth to solve this problem next time around. Lot of people have this attitude. I don't think it's going to happen this time. So I tell them, don't have that attitude. I'm going to put forth all the efforts to make that happen right here and now. That resolution, that resolve that this student has, instead of wasting the life to solve problems, incidental problems, the student indicates his readiness to face the root cause of all problems and solve them for good once for all. Then he expresses his confidence in the teacher. The student is not very sure whether the teacher himself has gotten out of samsara or is he still in it. Then you cannot have an open mind. He is sure and he expresses that. He glorifies the teacher, saying that you have solved the problem the rest of your life. Your life is dedicated to help others. He says, Tirnaha Swayam Bhima Babarnavam Jana Ahetunanyan Api Tarayantah. Even this Lokasangraha karma done by these jnanis like you doesn't have any ulterior motives. It's caused us compassion. It's your very swabhava. Therefore, in the 38th verse, the student says, I am swabhavaha. This is your very nature. Once you work only for Purnatvam and how Jnanena Purnatvam Siddhaye eva Prayatnataha. Once that Purnatvam fulfillment comes, completeness comes, naturally compassion will come. It's not deliberately entertained, but naturally enjoyed. And therefore, the student says, I am swabhavaha. That's your very nature. Compassion is your nature. That compassion, swataha eva parashrama apanoda pravanam mahatmana. Parashramaha means difficulties of others. Para, others. Shrama, difficulties. Others' difficulties. Anya dukkham. And apanodana means elimination. Pravanam means inclinations. So you have the natural inclination for the elimination of the pains of others. And that is called compassion. Somebody is suffering. I want to help. I want to help them to get rid of that pain and suffering. How one goes about doing that, that's a different question. But at least you must have that inclination. Suppose there is a poor man, and if I know because of his poverty he is suffering, the very feeling is called compassion. I may not be able to give him a lot of money. I may not have myself money to give. Therefore, whether I help him or not, how much I help, depends on so many factors. Sometimes you want to help, but they refuse to take help from you. It's also there. Whether I can help or not, that is another question. But I have this innermost feeling. I feel their pain. I have compassion for them. We hear the news about women and young children suffering in the war-torn area. We may not be able to help sitting here, but we feel their pain. And whatever little help we can provide, we would, once that compassion is there. So the feeling itself is called compassion. Here he says, this is Mahatmanam Swabhavam, very natural for Mahatmas, meaning Jnanis. They have a generous heart. So he has used the right word. Mahatma means one whose mind is expanded, whose Atma is Mahan. It's not narrow-minded, broad-minded. Sensitive enough to feel the pain of others. That is compassion. That means temporarily my eyes should extend beyond my body and I should penetrate into the body of that man. I should be able to feel the pain of that person. If my eye extends only to this panchakosha, what will I say? I may be indifferent. I may be rude. My eye extends only up to my body or maximum to my family. And you will say things like, I worked hard and I earned everything. So if you are suffering, you that kind of thing. We do hear all that. They are suffering because they are lazy. They don't want to work. If only they'll be as successful as I am. Narrow-minded. So Mahatma means Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma, Gita says. So one whose definition of I extends to all the bodies. One who has the Sarvatma Bhava. So that's why we say a jnani's selfishness is welcome because his self extends the whole creation. When we take the word self, we mean ourself, oneself. But Jnani is identifying the self in me, the self of all beings. So the word self for him covers the entire creation. So if he is selfish and he is working for the self, he is working for the whole creation. Just as I am interested in leading a happy life for myself, I am equally interested in the happiness of the whole creation. The motto of Chinmaya mission also, bring maximum happiness to maximum number of people or maximum amount of time. That is the vision. If I do not have the I notion anywhere, including my body, I am Brahma. If I have the I notion in all bodies, I am Ishvara. So expand my vision. When do we have a problem? When we have Dehabhimana partially. If you have total Dehabhimana, you have Ishvaratvam. When you are identified with all bodies, you are standing in the shoes of Ishvara. So you have Ishvaratvam. If you have no Dehabhimana, you are not identified with Anatma, you are identified with Atma. Then you have Brahmatvam. If you have partial Dehabhimana, you have Jivatvam. It is the Jivatva, individuality alone, that gives samsara. Jnani knows only two states. Either he is Brahman when he is sitting all alone. He is by himself, nobody around. And he is dwelling in his own nature. That Satchit Ananda Brahman. That's how he is. And he becomes the Ishvara when he is transacting in the world. When he has people around, then his view is he is the self of all beings. He doesn't differentiate himself with others. He becomes the Ishvara. Since he is never a Jiva, he is called Mahatma. And compassion is very natural for him. Example for this. Yeshaha Sudamshuhu. Sudha means moon. Amshuhu, rays. Sudamshuhu means the rays of the moon. Moon's cool rays. What does it do? The summer months, Shankaracharya says, during summer, the earth is scorched by the rays of the sun during the daytime. It gets so hot during the day. Then when the sun sets and then the moon comes, the moon's rays, what does it do during the night time? The moon's rays are called Shitamshuhu, Himamshuhu. Shita, cold. Himamshuhu, snow. Cool. Cool rayed one. That's the moon. Sun is samsara. It's scorching you, burning you. Samsara rays. That's where I am. And oh Guru, you are the moon and you have to cool me by your glance with your teaching. This is the idea. Yeshaha Sudamshuhu, cool rays of the moon. Kshitim Avati, they rescue the earth. Arka Karkasha Prabha Abhitapta. Abhitapta means scorched. Karkasha means intense. The word itself, the way it sounds, fierce. Prabha rays. Therefore, the moon's cool rays will cool the earth, which has been heated up by the fierce rays of the sun during the day. And this job of the moon is not a deliberate job. It's the very nature of the moon. Therefore, he uses the words swayam by itself, without willing, planning, by its very nature. Similarly, jnani is like the moon. And all the samsaris are like the earth, getting scorched, heated up, roasted. Samsara dukkam is the sun beating down. And as even the jnani comes, he cools the samsari. He gives relief to that who is suffering. Next. Brahmanandarasana ब्रह्मानन्दरसनाभूतिकलितैः पूतैषुषितैर्युतैः ब्रह्मानन्दरसानुभूतिकलितैः पूतैषुषितैर्युतैः युष्मद्वाक्कलशोज्जितैः सुखैर्वाक्यामृतैः कलशोज्जिहितैः श्रुति सुखैर्वाक्यामृतैः संतप्तं भवतापदावदहन ज्वालाभिरेनं प्रभो संतप्तं भवतापदावदहन ज्वालाभिरेनं प्रभो धन्यास्ते भवदीक्षण क्षणगते पात्रीकृता स्वीकृता धन्यास्ते भवदीक्षण क्षणगते पात्रीकृता स्वीकृता ब्रह्मानंद रसानुभूतिकलितैः पूतैः सुषितैर्युतैः युष्मद्वाकलशोज्जिहितैः श्रुतिशुकैः वाक्यामृतैः सेचय संतप्तं भवतापदावदहन ज्वालाभिरेनं प्रभो धन्य क्षणगते पात्रीकृता स्वीकृता. So here Bhagwan Shankaracharya goes to his poetic heights. The essence of this shloka, I'll tell you, very simple. You teach me. That's bottom line. Okay, you please teach me. And this idea is expanded into this huge shloka, a long meter. The essence is, you teach me. He puts that in a poetic form with a comparison. Here, the mouth of the Guru is compared to a vessel. And the words in the mouth of the Guru is compared to the waters, the water in the vessel. And the Sishya is compared to a person who has gotten into a fire accident. It's got burned. The fire is samsara, dava, anala, tapta. It's not a small burn. The finger you touch the hot stove or something like that. No. It's like sometimes when you're not careful, especially ladies wearing saris, and it happened right here in the ashram here. They have what is called Chuttu Valakku, where the entire temple all around the periphery of that, they have 1,000 lamps. They light it, all oil and wick lamps. So a lot of people participate. They sponsor that. Then one lady was not careful, and then fire, sari caught on fire. And when that happens, oh, gotta be careful. So my entire body is burning. It's not only the sthula, but sukshma and karan sharira are roasted. And I'm desperately looking for water. Here comes sometime muddy water, no water at all. So I don't have any relief. I am being scorched. Sisha is scorched. Oh, Guru, you have a huge mouth which is full of water. His words are like that water. So the Shishya says here, sprinkle or better bathe me with the waters of your words coming from the kalasha of your mouth. This is the Sara. This is the essence of the shloka. Techaya. Bathe me with the Vakya Amritaihi, the waters which are in the form of your teaching, your words, your sentences. And that water is called Amrita with philosophical significance. Water will quench thirst, ease the pain from the heat. Your throat is dry, take some water, cools it, gets wet, some relief. But using the word Amrita, not only it will remove the pain temporarily, it will give immortality. Immortality. Amritatva. Moksha also. So it indicates both dukkha nivritti, removal of the sorrow, suffering, and sukha prapti, amritatva prapti, attainment of immortality. So the glory of these words is indicated through 5 adjectives. Each adjective glorifies the word waters. Now we have to apply the adjective in 2 places. They should be applied to the water also. They are applicable to the words also. So that is poetic. That's the poet in Shankaracharya. Brahmananda rasa anubhuti kalitaihi. So endowed with the experience of the taste of the bliss of Brahman. Brahmananda, bliss of Brahman. Rasa, taste. Anubhuti kalitaihi. Endowed with that experience. When the Guru uses the word, the words of the scriptures. He's not repeating like a parrot. The Upanishad says Tattvamasi. The Guru does not say, I say Tattvamasi because that is what the Upanishad says. No, no, no. He is living it. The Upanishad says that you are Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. Therefore, I am saying that. No, 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 he doesn't say it that way. So when he says, you are Ananda, the Guru is Ananda Swarupa. And he is speaking from that one. And when he says, you are secure, the Guru says, Guru means that he is enjoying that security. When he says, you are Asangaha, the Guru is Asanga. He doesn't have any attachment. What he teaches, he must be, he is. So that is why in Kathopanishad we saw Guru is defined beautifully. Ananyaha, which means he is what he is teaching. It's not different from that. He is what he is speaking with no difference between what he is and what he says. This is called teaching from the heart. The words come from the heart, just not the tip of the lips. Words that come from the heart are live words, like live wire. These are live words. They can shed light. Therefore, he adds this adjective, hey Guru, you have those words which are endowed with the taste of Brahmananda. You are enjoying that Purnatva. Similarly, here the waters are pure and clear. So this is one description. The second description or adjective is Putaihi. Putaihi means Pavitram, sacred, or Shuddham, pure. The waters are pure waters, and your words are also pure, without any dosha, no defect. There may be defects in words, grammatical errors may be there. The dosha can be in logic. They may be contradictory to science or experience. They are all called defects in words. Suppose I say fire is cold. Everybody knows fire is cold. Then it is artha dosha. It's a defect in the meaning. The meaning of the sentence is wrong. Or if I say fire or hot, artha there is no mistake, but grammatical mistake is there. Fire is singular, so I should say only fire is hot. But instead I say fire are hot. That's a defect in the words, grammatically. Shabda dosha, grammatical mistake. Therefore, the teaching should be free from Shabda dosha and Artha dosha. Such a teaching is called Putam, pure. This is applicable to the water also. The water is also Shuddham, and your words are also Shuddham, pure. The third adjective that he uses for the word and water is Sushitaihi. It's cool. It has a cooling effect. Being cool is applicable to both water and to the words. Water has a cooling effect. The water, its very nature is cool. So in your heart, like this afternoon, I had to go out and it was so hot. And I came back, feeling so hot. My ears were burning. First thing I did, take some water, splash some water on my face. Water relief. Here the student has come to the Guru with a disturbed mind, restless mind. And the words of the Guru have a cooling effect. And then he goes with a cool mind. In English also, we use the word cool to indicate calmness, quiet, balanced. He's a cool cat. He doesn't get agitated. Calm and composed. He is shantah, shamah. So the words of the Guru, the teaching that he gives, calms the student down. Water makes a person cool. Bhagavan Sri Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, Samadukka Sukha Swastha Samaloshtasma Kanchana Tulya Priya Priyo Dhira Tulya Nindatma Samstutihi. One who maintains equipoise, cool person. The words coming from such a person called cool words. And here the Acharya is cool. Otherwise, when the Sishya comes with a sorrow, instead of the Acharya passing his Ananda to Sishya, the Sishya's sorrow will get transferred to the Acharya. He will also start joining that poor fellow and start crying with him. That's no good. You remember Arjuna cried the entire first chapter, excepting for the first few verses where the battlefield was described. As soon as Arjuna started, he was only crying. And then Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he started the teaching. Tam uvacha Rishikesha prahasanniva, smilingly. Bhagavan did not start crying, oh, you poor Arjuna, I feel your pain. He feels the pain, but he doesn't start crying. He gives a, I know how to handle this, your situation, I know. I will teach you that. So, Guru should be like that. The Guru should not get nervous. Then the student then will say, oh my God, this problem can never be solved. No, no, no. Therefore, Sushitaihi, with cool words, the Guru teaches. Calm, collected, composed. This is the third description of the words. The fourth description is Yutaihi. Yutaihi means cogent, consistent, very important in teaching, especially if the teaching is for a length of time. See, we're studying Vivekacu, as I had already forewarned you. There are 581 verses, and it will take 2 to 3 years with one class a week. It will take that long. But what I say towards the end of the text should agree with what I said in the beginning and in the middle. Should be consistent. The thought development should be seamless, not erratic. Otherwise, people will say, when they talk about jnana, they will glorify jnana by saying knowledge alone means of liberation. Elsewhere, bhakti or yoga marga is praised. There seems to be a contradiction. If there are any seeming contradiction, the student must raise the question and the teacher must be able to reconcile all that. That is called yuta. Literally, yuj means to join. Yuta, join, integrated, well joined, cohesive, harmonious, consistent. So the word yusmad vakalashodjihitaihi, vakalasha, the vessel of the mouth, ujhitaihi means released. Yushmat means your. The words that are coming from your mouth, from the mouth of the teacher, that should be cohesive, cogent, systematic, consistent. And when you're pouring water from the vessel, if it comes in drips and dabs and not consistent, that's no good. You should have a steady stream. Like that. The words coming all make sense together. And then the final description is Shruti Sukhaihi, pleasing. Words which are pleasing to the ears to listen. Vedanta class is one place where the teacher consistently addresses the student and says, you are Satyam, you are Ananda Swarupaka. You are happiness itself. That's your nature. Nitya Shuddha. Shuddha. You are ever pure. Nitya Buddha. You are knowledge. Nitya Mukta. You are ever liberated. In other Upanishads, you will see, whenever the teacher talks about the student, very pleasant words. Oh, Somya. Oh, dear one. So the teacher consistently says wonderful words about the student. With such vakyamritaihi sechaya, words of nectar, shower me, bathe me, rinse me. My condition is samtaptam bhavatāpadavadahana jwalabihi. Samtaptam has two meanings. When you take the water example, tapta means physically scorched. Then samtaptam may also refer to manastapa, the mental agony. I am scorched by flames coming out of Davadahana, the heat of the forest fire. Just like forest fire, Bhavatapa, or problems in life or vast, cannot easily be contained. So, Enam, referring to this Shishya, may you rinse, may you soak with your cool waters, Prabho, O Lord. Then, Danyaste Bhavadikshana Kshanagatehe. Here this Shishya says, I am very optimistic because I see so many people who have been blessed by you already. Other students who have come to you, they have become Jivan Mukta. So I am very confident. Te Danyaha, they are all blessed. Indeed, blessed people they are. Bhava Dikshana Kshanagatehe, receivers of them with a momentary glance. You didn't even have to give them 100%. Kshana, it's for a moment you taught them, that's it. Patrikrita, Svikrita, they have become accepted in Sishyas just by a glance from the Guru. They are indeed blessed. So please bless me, please take me as your student. Om पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ